Hello, you. Welcome to the very latest episode of Adopted Geordies, episode 39. This is your Newcastle United podcast companion, the show that contains not one but two former Newcastle United captains and a regional funny man, the Newcastle Brown male himself. I'm Andy Jaye, and I'm sat with, for the first time ever, the entire team. I'm elated that we are in the same place. It's only taken us however many shows to get here, but here we are indeed. The captain himself, Mr. Rob Lee, is over on this side of me. The captain herself, Miss Amber Keegan Stobbs, is sat over here. And the Newcastle Brown male, Mr. Raul Kohli, over in the corner looking pretty in pink. How are you, sunshine?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm delighted but also horrified. That car crash that we witnessed at Fulham was abject. In fact, it was so poor that I considered not coming in and doing any work for this show because they clearly didn't do any work for that game. I was horrified. However, we're going to move on from that. This is a season review. The plan for today is marks out of 10. We're going to go through every player that has played for Newcastle United across this season, spent more than half an hour on the pitch, and we're going to give them literally a mark out of 10. Sometimes we'll justify our scores. Sometimes we will just tell you what we're scoring them, and that'll be that. To add to things, we have the four of us and one extra person who's never featured in the show before, a new person for this show, a character we have witly titled YAI Man. And what we've done is we have run these players through an AI software program, asked them to analyse all the scores that have been published across the season to give us an overview of what the journalists and the people that publicise their scores feel. So we have an unbiased view, and then we have our very biased views. Is everybody happy and ready?
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Excellent. Let's start at the back, between the sticks, Nick Pope.
Are you looking at me?
Yeah.
I'm really Nick Pope. I think he's a decent goalie.
Okay.
So
What are you giving it out of 10?
I will give him 6 out of 10.
All right, I'm going to write this down and I'm going to do a total score at the end.
Yeah,
Raul,
yeah.
so Rob's giving him a 6.
6 out of 10.
Yeah, I was exactly the same, a 6. Yeah, he's a good player, but he still brought all of those, just sometimes when he runs out the goal, you're still a little bit
He's just no
terrified.
good with his feet, is he?
Yeah.
But as a shot stopper, he's very, very good.
Excellent. Amber?
I'll give him a 7.
You give him a 7. Okay. I'm giving him a 4. And
Why? Don't you skip over a 4.
Yeah,
why,
what?
Why
That's
give
the
him
one
a
you have to
4?
explain, I
I
think.
just distribution errors, the calamity, the fear that he now seems to see every time the ball comes near him, the fact that when we're now playing with him in goal, the defence has to alter how they're thinking because they're scared, they don't trust him. Yes, he's pulling off some big saves, and I love
Surprised he got a
that.
4.
Well, he
He's
is.
caned him, by the way. Absolutely caned him. by the way.
Listen, I'm really disappointed with this season, and I'm not holding back with my scores.
You're not. You're not.
I'm just going to be
Carry on,
straightforward.
honestly.
YAI Man, so this is the AI that has assessed everything, has given Nick Pope a 6.5.
There you go.
So there you go. Right, Aaron Ramsdale, Rob.
Again, I think he's been decent. I quite like him. I think I would give him a 6.5.
Okay, 6.5 is what Rob classifies as decent. Raul.
Yeah, it's a bit odd because if you look at his record, he conceded so many goals, but I actually thought he was marginally better than Pope, so I'd give him a 7.
Okay, Amber.
I would just give him a 7. To be
Also
fair.
a 7, right?
Because I
consistent.
feel like.
What choice? A 2?
Yeah.
I've given him a 4.5. I think he's been marginally better than Nick Pope, but not
You
much.
are brutal.
Listen, I'm not taking any prisoners. I've had enough season-wise.
Brutal.
It's been
brutal.
tough. YAI Man gave him a 6. I'll do a total for all of these at the end.
Right.
Defenders, we'll start off with Kieran Trippier. Rob, what does Trips get for you?
I think apart from probably the Barcelona second half when I thought he was poor, I think it was Trips is just Trips. So I would always give Trips a 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Always.
Always a 7 out of 10
Always.
for you. Raul, what are you giving Trips?
Yeah, I give him a 6.5 to a 7. Not on effort alone, he's Trips and as a character in the back room, but it just his age was showing, or maybe he was expending his cardio at other places. I
I
don't
would
know.
give him another contract. I don't know why we haven't given him another contract. I find that weird.
Someone's going
another
to
year.
pick him up, aren't they?
Another year. Yeah, definitely. He'll go.
Leadership, Amber.
Well, this is where my 7s seem a bit high for the keepers because I'd give him a 7.5.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So then I'd probably bring the keepers down a little bit.
You
but-
are the highest scorer so far.
You
though,
are.
So
Oh, I
you're
know.
generous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
There he comes. Brutal, man.
I'm
1.
giving him a 3. No, I'm giving him a 6.5.
Yeah, see.
Which is not a million miles shy of you.
No.
And YAI Man gave him a 7.
Yeah.
Right, Tino Livramento. This is a controversial one because there's certain behavioural aspects that I think we will be factoring into his
Yeah,
performance
we don't
as
know
well.
that, do we?
Well,
We're just guessing.
we always guess, Rob. That's what we're
I
here
would
for.
say first half of the season I would have given him an 8. Second half of the season I would have given him 4. So I'm going to 6.
6. All right. Amber?
6.
6 as well.
On the same basis.
Raul?
I've given him a 5, same basis, but I just don't like the fact that Sin City have come in for him. It just seems to have
Do we
gone
know
missing a
that?
bit.
Do we?
Something's happened. Something's happened, and I just think I've seen a lot of individuals being individuals in a team game, and he's one of them. That's how I feel.
Fair
That's
dues.
half our team, to be fair.
I've given him a 6. YAI Man, interestingly, has given him 8.5 and explained it like this. Massive season, athletic, reliable, increasingly elite.
So he didn't see the last 10 games then, no?
I'm assuming they
Okay.
based it on the start. of
Well
the
done,
season.
YA, man.
Okay, this one I'm guessing will be a high scorer. I hope so. Otherwise, I can't read football. Lewis Hall.
9.
Love that.
Best left back in the Premier League.
Should be with him.
Should have gone to England.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I can't believe that DJ Spence is before him because he's the best left back there is. Yeah, I understand that. Well, I understand that O'Reilly has been brilliant, scored a lot of goals, but he's his only competition really in England. So yeah, I'm amazed he hasn't gone.
Raul.
A 9, and I would echo that sentiment. I can't believe that a lot of those, Skelly, or Reece James. I can't believe that any of them are ahead of him. I think I don't know what game Tuchel is watching.
Agreed. Amber, where's your head?
8.5.
You're giving him an 8.5. Like that. I also gave him an 8.5. YAI Man gave him an 8, less than Tino Livramento. I'm just going to point that out now. All right, the big botman, Batman at the back.
Listen, when he's fit and playing well, I would give him a 9 all day long. He's always injured, and I 5.5 for him.
5.5.
5.5.
Right.
He's always injured. I can't bear players that are always injured.
Okay. Raul, are you furious with the injury record like Rob is?
I'm not furious. I feel very it's a similar sentiment, but a different feeling. I just feel very sorry for him. I feel like the medical team, once upon a time, should have put their foot down. I just don't think he's ever been the same since that injury, and that's not necessarily his. The one where he came back with his left knee was done, and then he got his right knee done, and then from there he's just continuously injured.
Always
and I think
injured.
that's on the medical team for not being a bit firmer with him.
This is a big centre half. This is our big centre half. Always injured. And
Yeah.
we can't have a big centre half that's always injured.
So, what score are you going with?
6, because he just hasn't been the same player.
Okay, Amber.
I would go with 6, I think.
6 as well.
Because I know he's quality, but it's just the injuries.
I gave him 6.5. YAI Man gave him 7.5, saying presence transformed the defence when fit. I'm not sure that's true.
When fit is it?
Yeah. Fabian Schär.
Injured. Injured.
Oh, no, but that's not a mark out of 10, Rob.
Yeah, but always injured again. Yeah, 5.
5. So
Yeah.
he impressed you less than Sven Botman.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Interesting. Even though in the early part of the season he was pinging some lovely balls, he's technically very gifted, took on some lovely shots. I think he scored a couple as well.
Yeah, they said that about Marcelino, and he wasn't very good either. So,
Well, to
hey,
be
listen,
fair, you would know.
my point would be, would you sign him again for Newcastle if we want to go further on? If you do, you certainly wouldn't start. He wouldn't start for me. So.
He's been offered a new deal, hasn't he? Another year.
Yeah, with a
Reduced
hugely
contract.
reduced contract. So that tells you everything, I think.
Okay. Raul.
He's got a 7 from me, as you say. Like he was pretty decent at the start of the season. We've offered him a new contract, and I can see why.
Yeah, fair dues. Amber, what are you giving
I
Fabs?
feel like he would have got higher if he wasn't injured, but I would give him a 6.5.
6.5. All right then. YAI Man gave him a 7. I gave him a 6.5 because I still think he's quality, and I think we really missed him. I think him getting injured was a big deal for us, even though it was his concussion that allowed Malik Chow in. Him being long-term injured, I think, has caused real challenges for us because I still think he and Botman is a really interesting pairing, and Bernard Chow is a really
Interesting,
pairing.
or is it our first team pairing?
I think an on-form Botman and an on-form
Do you think
Schär.
that will progress us to the Champions League where we want to be with them two at the centre back?
I think it could if they were both on form. I think the challenge is, as you've just aligned, Sven is too injury prone, and Fabs is now getting on a bit. Still handsome as a dog, though. So
Yeah, lovely looking guy.
he's going to have
You
that.
guys.
Lovely looking
He's going to
guy.
have that. Now, one of the friends of the show that we've had on here with us, we love him to bits. Doesn't mean we're going to be biased when it comes to scoring him, because we're trying to be as straightforward as we can. England's Big Dan Burn.
Love him. I would give him a 7.5 all day long because
Okay.
he never lets you down. He's taken a little bit of stick over from Newcastle fans and from England fans as well, but I can see why he's in the squad of England because he can play left back and play centre half, and he never lets us down. And that he's never. And you know what? He's never injured.
Well, that's
When
not
he
true. He broke his rib.
And he was back within what, 3 weeks?
Yeah,
It was more like I think it was about 6 weeks.
Yeah, Marcelino was out for.
He broke his back
Marcelino was out for
last season.
5 years, I think, with a broken finger.
This isn't Marcelino. Watch.
just telling you.
Do you have a grudge?
Botman's out for God knows how long. If Botman had done that, he'd be out for.
Has Marcelino been sending sexy texts to Mrs. Lee? What's he
Can
done
I
wrong?
just say, Botman would be out for with that. He'd be out for 8 weeks. I just think as soon as he's fit, he plays.
Yeah, that's fair. Raul.
I've gone for 7.5 as well. I can see why he's in the England squad. If you ever saw the team talk he did before the Carabao Cup final, he's just a very calming presence. I think he reduces the stress on everybody's nervous system. He's a very eloquent man, and he's a great player. If he's struggled with anything this season, it's never his choice to be left back. He's always been put there, and he's done the job that he's needed to do. But he does the job still, even though he doesn't want to do it, even though it doesn't make him look his best. He's a team player through and through.
Love that. Amber.
I give him an 8.
Give him an 8.
I think his presence just is different for our team. There's been a few games where he hasn't started, and I think we just missed that as a leader and things like that, especially when Bruno was out. So he's a top man. I give him an 8.
Good. I like that. Quick word on this story that they put out on The Athletic, because he asked someone the score during a water break, the West Ham score at the Fulham. Is that a big deal? I personally don't give two stuffs. They're having 3 minutes to get some water in, to rehydrate. Does it matter that he's asked the score? On
No, I would ask the score. I'm
would?
interested. Yeah, I would ask the score. He's got Callum Wilson playing for West Ham, the next teammate. Why wouldn't you ask the score?
Doesn't mean
What's
that
the
you're not
problem?
focused on the game, right?
Of course it doesn't.
Yeah, there's been a silly pile on from the...
You can't accuse Dan Burn of not trying in any of our games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like he cares the most.
Yeah.
So
But
All right.
surprisingly enough, a footballer is interested in football. Do you know what I mean? As they said, the story
Amazing.
was elsewhere.
Yeah.
I think if he'd found out the Sunderland score, he might have been a bit
Wasn't
different
asking about that,
scenario.
was he? He was asking about West Ham.
Yeah.
I just think maybe the journalist didn't necessarily need to publish that, because there was an unnecessary pile-on as a result from someone that tries his hardest for our club. Malik Chow to final our last of our defenders. What are you thinking, Rob? Because he started so well, didn't he?
I think he's been, apart from one game, I think he was poor. Apart from that, I think he's been...
He was subbed at half-time, wasn't he?
Yeah, brilliant. I think he's been so good, much better than I thought he would be. So I would give him an 8.5. I think he's been so good.
8.5. I believe he's played more minutes for the club than any other player this season, which says something, because he didn't feature the first 5.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
No, I
quite
think
impressive.
since he's come into the team, I think he's proved himself to be top centre half. I think.
All right, Amber.
I'd give him an 8.5.
8.5. Love it.
I think he's just consistent, and as a new signing, like the effect that he's had, or the place that he's held, is top.
Excellent. Raul.
Yeah, he's adapted pretty quickly and he's been very consistent, but there have been a few just like mistakes. I'd just go for a 7.5. I think our defence has probably been the worst. I mean, a lack of scoring, but our defence has always been a really bad aspect of our season, especially from when we're in a winning position. So yeah, 7.5 for me.
Yeah, fair enough. YAI Man gave him an 8. I gave him a 7. For the same reasons that you said, Raul. I think he's broadly been excellent, but there have been a few moments where he's just switched off a tad. So based on that, I'm not going to bother adding these up because it's going to be clear enough. Based on that, we are currently thinking, according to our overall scores, Aaron Ramsdale should be starting ahead of Pope. This is just based on these scores. Lewis Hall is our most favourite defender.
Yep.
And then Big Dan and Malik Chow should be the two centre-backs with Trips, obviously, playing on the other side of them. So there we go. That's just on these really scientific scores. Midfielders, we're going to start with the captain, Bruno Guimaraes himself.
Listen, when he was injured, we missed him massively, more than I think everybody thought, more than I think Eddie Howe thought. And I, for me, he'd be a 9 out of 10 all the time because he's, he for me, just plays well every single game. He drives the team. I don't shout at people, he don't scream at people, but he leads by example. So 9 for me.
9 out of 10.
Except Joe Willock.
Except Joe Willock. When he doesn't pass, takes on a shot through 60 feet.
Oh, not that non-story.
Why not? Yeah, another non-story. Yeah, okay, yeah.
All right, then.
You swore at each other on the pitch. Wow.
Raul, what are you giving Bruno for the season?
8.5, yeah.
5. Same reasons?
Same reasons.
Lovely. Amber?
I'd give him a 9.
You give him a 9.
I think we missed him massively.
We did.
And he just has moments in sometimes he'll not have the best game, but then he'll just have a moment where, like, he'll bag the winner, or I think his influence as well is top.
It's the presence, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
He is the heartbeat of the team, isn't he? Really,
Yeah.
if he's not playing well, the team isn't playing well generally. YAI man agrees with most of you. 9 out of 10. I gave him 8.5. Sandro Tonali. I know you love a bit of Sandro.
I do. I think he's been above average, but no better than that. But his ability should be better than that.
Yeah.
So I'd give him a 7.5.
7.5.
But he should be a lot more than that, really, with the ability he's got. And the question is, does he want to be at Newcastle? Hopefully he does, but maybe his agent wants him away. I don't know.
Well, we're at that point now that the silly season has started, where it's kind of horrible being a Newcastle United fan, because we're going to see some of our favourite players linked everywhere. And
which is a good thing, though, because if we had crap players, they wouldn't be linked anywhere. So the fact that we had got good players.
True, but it's infuriating because even today, I've seen reports suggesting that Chelsea are going to get Bruno and Sandro, that Manchester United are going to get Sandro and
the only way
Lewis Hall.
The only way they get these players if they want to leave. That's the
Yeah.
only way they get these players. Don't care what anybody says. The only way you go is if them players want to go. So if they want to go, and I said I'd lock Bruno up, but if he wanted to go, I wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? The only way they go, it's nothing to do with agents, nothing to do with Newcastle, nothing to do with any other club. It's the player. If he wants to go, he'll go.
Once we've done all these scores and we've kind of worked out our best team, I think we will just do a little bit of time on who we really want to keep, who we should build the squad around, and who maybe we should bring in. Okay, you're giving Sandro Tonali 7.5 out of 10. Amber, what do you give him for the
7
season?
for the season. Just based on how he was last year and things like that. Obviously, I don't know. Just his potential or the player that he is, I would think higher. But this season, I think 7.
Okay, Raul.
Yeah, I'd say 6.5 to a 7. I'd echo the sentiments about his potential and how he was last season. He was like a 9. But for me, I mean, you two are the professionals. You can talk about ability. For me, it's like effort levels. And I think once his head started to wander, especially given he's someone who owes us, I think, and Eddie a little bit more, given everything that happened with the gambling man. So one sort of, attention. And you're a grown man. Your agent's a representative of you. If your agent's then gone out and looked for a move to Arsenal on deadline day, you need to take it. Can't just be like, I like being here. I like walking my dog on the beach. That's like insulting, I think. Do you know what I mean? You owe it to the fans and you owe Eddie to give a bit of a better response and be like, he's a dick, or fire him, or I don't know. But I just felt like since that moment, he's not quite all been there.
No beaches in Arsenal, Sandro. Just so you know, Arsenal has no beaches.
North London, you mean?
just to be clear, no beaches in Arsenal.
No
or
first
Chelsea.
place of Arsenal, really. No places.
No beaches.
There's no Arsenal.
No beaches.
North London.
YAI man, interestingly, gave Sandro Tonali 9.5 out of 10.
What?
More than that, little spoiler for you because we'll do this at the end. He was also YAI man's player of the season. Described him as a complete midfielder.
Who is this YI man?
Some kind of nonsense spout.
Yeah.
This is why you can't trust robots. They don't have any understanding of
I'm
human
not saying
sense.
it's correct. I'm just saying this is what he's given him. I gave him a 6.5, same as Raul, because I think he has flattered to deceive. I think he has been broadly disappointing. He's had 20-minute spells in games where you've gone, that's the Sandro of last season, but then he's had hours where he hasn't been. And that's just not good enough for me. I want you to wear the shirt with pride and I want you to give everything. And I don't feel this season has been a reflection of him giving everything. We do have to factor in he is the first-time dad, so he may be pretty shattered.
Whoa. Hang on. What? Did he have the baby?
Now, that would be an impressive. Unfortunately, the baby was born in Chelsea.
Right, okay, but he didn't actually have the baby, did he?
No.
Right.
But he still has to. I mean, I know, Rob. I know that you.
I had 3 kids, and none of them affected whether I played well or not.
I know you had night nurses.
And Rob
and
had
many
the
nannies.
babies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I actually produced the babies myself, carried them for 9 months, and I still play well. I don't go along with that. I'm not having that. No, just because he's had children.
Sleeplessness,
No,
night feeds,
no,
and nappy changes
no,
at 3 in the
it.
morning.
No, I'm not having it. No.
Is that because you didn't do it, or because you think
I never
Sandro's
did it?
not doing
No.
Well, you might not have done it, but Sandro might be a more sort of, involved nighttime dad.
Can we get Elliot on
You
the
just
pod?
got
Can we
on-
get Elliot on the
Yeah.
pod?
Definitely.
Get his thoughts on his childhood.
Definitely.
No, I'm just at night time. I'm talking about changing nappies in the middle of the night. I'm talking about doing the feeds because your wife's, absolutely shattered and so on. He might have a disrupted night time.
Listen, does his wife come on the pitch and tackle players? No, she doesn't. So That's her job. Roy Keane would say, that's a job, surely.
I mean, I didn't mean to give you a spade, Rob, but you're digging a hole for yourself here.
No.
You were complaining about armbags last week, were you?
That is a proper
listen, I find the people that actually say, listen, yeah, that's affected me because I've had a child is nonsense.
All right. Well,
Nonsense.
you've given us a great social clip, so
Yeah,
I
you're
appreciate
welcome,
it.
yeah.
I'm going to intervene on Rob's behalf. You know, the money like Rob and Sandra they've probably got enough money for nannies, etc., etc. It's not Sandra's prior. It's not Rob's. It's not necessarily the wife's job, but it's not necessarily their prior responsibility
Correct.
when they've got a
That's
lot of people
exactly
who can
what I
help. If
meant.
you're having your baby in Chelsea,
You know it's
you
bad
can
when
get a
you're
lot of
always
nannies in. I'm
helping
sure
you
if
out
you're
the
driving a
whole-
G-Wagon round, you can definitely, yeah.
There we go. Raul's hype man there. Yeah, that's definitely going in. I'm not cutting that out, Rob. Joe Linton. He's Brazilian. He only costs 40 million. How much are you giving him out of 10, Mr. Rob Lee?
Well, not as good as last year, I think, Jolinton, as probably most of our players, bar Lewis Hall probably. But
Well, he's got 3 kids, so do you think that's making any difference to his nighttime routine?
no, and has he ever complained about it? Probably not. So no, listen, I'll probably give him a 7 out of 10. He never lets you down when he plays. He's had a few injuries and a few suspensions, so yeah, probably a 7 out of 10. Never lets you down.
He's on a 7. All right, Amber.
I'd give him an 8. And that is based off as well. Never lets you down, but then you could see where we miss him when he's not playing. You can see his influence, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's been
Really
some
missed
people
him.
complaining he's not technical enough, but in the role he's carrying out, how important is that?
He's an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, the stuff that he does off the ball, even on the ball as well, because it's never nice to be labelled an off-the-ball midfielder. But, yeah, it's just presence, physicality.
He's not your normal Brazilian, is he? Sort of he runs, he works, he
Yeah.
batters.
He's more of it.
people.
Well, I mean, he described himself to us, didn't he, when we met him as a UFC fighter? You know, he wants to get out there like a cage.
But you need some people like that, and I think
Yeah.
he does brilliant for us every time he plays. Yeah.
I always enjoy it when Joe Linton's on the field. Raul.
Yeah, I'd say a 7. He's just got that, as you say, he's just a beast. He's got that where not a lot of other players in football have that. You always need a player like that. But there's been a couple of games where he's just really kind of not been at the races. But I'd give him a 7.
All right. YAI Man gave him 8 out of 10 and described him as a chaos engine, which I like.
What's that? What is a chaos engine?
He really got a gripe.
what's
with
a
it,
chaos
right?
engine?
I love.
What
He's
is
a
chaos
strong player.
engine?
He's
What
not
does
got
that mean?
ADHD.
What's that? A chaos engine. I've never even heard them 2 words together. It's just ridiculous.
Well, then you learn something new every day, Rob. You learn something new every day. We need to go to the pub before shows more often, Rob, because I'm enjoying this side of you. 6.5 out of 10 I gave him. Louis Miley.
By his injury, I think Louis Miley is a player we're going to look forward to seeing playing a lot for Newcastle.
Just signed a new 6-year contract as well, which is brilliant.
Which means actually nothing, does it? But
Well, it means he's committed for the next 6
no,
seasons.
it means they can
and-
sell him for a lot of money if they want to sell him for a lot of money,
Yeah.
basically. As we did with Elliot Anderson. So, no, I hope we keep on to him. Is he good enough to get in our midfield when they're all playing well? Tonali, Joe, and Bruno. I probably would say no. But I saw him play right back loads of times, and I thought he was going to get a good roasting. Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
I was so on edge.
But yeah, he was.
You're the HR.
I
for
am
the
mate,
podcast,
HR.
Rob.
I can
You
say
tell
that.
us
Yes,
about
I can
it.
say that. But he was brilliant. He was brilliant at right back. So there's quite a lot of positions he can play. In. Reminds me a little bit of Steve Watson when he was coming through. He could play in so many different positions, but he needs to find his.
He can score a goal as well.
He needs to find his best position soon, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Yeah.
What
If
are
they
you
keep
giving him
playing.
out of 10?
I would give him a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5 out of 10, which is what you also gave Sandro Tonali. So
Yep.
you're saying they're aligned.
Yep.
All right, Raul.
What happened to him? He sort of just done a Katie Price's husband. He's just disappeared off the face of the earth, didn't he? What?
He's broke his leg.
Is that what happened?
yeah. Fibula.
So it was a while ago. It was like, okay, when was that? Was that December, January?
No. That was about 6 weeks ago.
6 weeks ago.
In training.
Ah,
Broke
right.
his leg in training.
Ah, right. Okay. That would
He had
make
an injury
sense.
Before that, didn't he?
He's
He
back
had
for
another
pre-season.
injury before that, didn't
Yeah, I think before his
before
injuries,
he had
particularly at
injury.
the start of the season, I think he was like the one. Him and Lewis Hall, the real bright sparks of the season. Like, yeah, you said Steve Watson for me, sort of like was. Like a really talented James Birch in the sense that he was a massive utility player.
insulting.
The
That
talented
is
one,
insulting.
like a
That is
talented one. Like he can play in a lot of
That's
different
insulting.
positions, but he's incredibly skilled. He's incredibly great. I'm excited to see him progress in the future for Newcastle. He understands the club He's got roots here.
He'll be a top player for us.
Yeah, and it's been a bit like the Amiobies, haven't in the sense that it's like 3 Mileys that have like
Yeah,
gone
there's
through
more
the
Mileys
academies
coming
or
through.
something. They're,
Brilliant.
they're like Geordie
Yeah.
royalty. So I'm just really excited to see his story progress. And I think some of the goals he got at the start of the season was just really, really good. So for me, he's on an 8.
He's on an 8, still only 20 years old as well.
Yeah, and at his age to adapt the way he has, I think, as well, shows great character of mind.
Amber.
I would have given him 8 based on the thing of if he's not in our midfield, he plays right back and actually does like a stellar job. Not even just a stellar job, it's probably discredit, but like does really well. And then some of his goals early in the season.
Yeah, I think he's been superb.
As a young player as well, it's just...
Love that. YAI Man gives him 8.5, and so do I.
Why do you give him 8.5? You haven't explained any of your scores yet.
I'm happy to explain all my scores. I think he has been brilliant. I've loved it. I have felt so comfortable and confident when he's on the ball. I feel that I've never seen him give it away. I remember there was a game where he had a 99% pass accuracy. I know you hate stats.
That's
but
just a ridiculous
absolutely
stat. I
brilliant.
could pass it 2 yards. So
He wasn't doing 2-yard passes,
Well,
though.
probably.
He's got a range of passing that I think is really dynamic. His ability at right back is exciting as well, because we know even if Tino Livramento does stay, which is unlikely, but if he does, we know he's made of glass. So he's not got enough games in him for the season. So we now know that if we need Louis Mardy to play, he can play there.
Yeah,
and actually, you were saying doesn't get in our midfield.
But he's missed loads of play. I know he's young, but he's had 2 major injuries.
I know he has, but we're talking
So he
about
needs to keep fit.
when he's playing well.
He needs to keep fit.
When he's fit and playing well. For me, there is an argument to suggest that our strongest starting 11 in our midfield would have him, Bruno, and Jacob Ramsey. I think the 3 of them could be very complementary.
That's how.
Yeah, I think.
You
Sandro,
think that midfield is going to get us in the Champions League?
I've already explained to you. I think Sandro Tonali is levels below what he should be. Joe Linton I love, but he's a battering ram. I think technically Ramsey's very exciting, and I think Miley is a really, really brilliant player. And on his day, I think he can be the best player.
I think they're all good players. Is that a midfield that will get us in the Champions League?
I think so. You're very welcome to disagree.
No,
I'm used to it.
I'm with Rob on this, I think. What did
fine.
you say? Miley, Ramsey, and
Bruno.
Bruno?
To get us in the Champions League?
I think Miley, Bruno, and somebody else, not Ramsey.
You don't like him?
I do like him, I just don't think he's Champions League.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'd have a fit Joe.
That's fine. Listen,
Yeah.
everyone's
Sorry that I've asked you to.
all opinions are welcome. Let's go with Rob's favourite player of the season, Joey Willock. What does Joe Willock get for you, Rob?
Joey Willock. The problem is Joey Willock is got all the attributes to be a very, very good player, but then I saw him against Fulham. You know, the free kick when he puts his leg up and just try and stop and then no reaction when they score the goal. Does Joe Willock want to be at Newcastle United? He's never threatened really to break into our midfield ever. So I would give him a 6 out of 10.
Okay, Raul.
I've given him a 6.5. Yeah, similar thing. I mean, I still look back to when he first signed, and it was like Papi Cisse, right? It was like 8 goals in 8 games or something like that. I think when he gets a run of games when he's playing regularly, he can be really good, and you just see flashes of that. But when he's not playing regularly, it just doesn't quite bring it. So yeah, 6.5.
Right, Amber.
I'd give him a 6.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, I feel like I probably have that loyalty to when he first signed. He came on loan and it made a difference for us. I think that, but I think the team's gone upwards and he's probably not gone as upwards.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? He came on loan from Arsenal, scored all those games. Like you said, I think it was 7 consecutive goals in 7 games, which I thought was really exciting. But do you remember we tried to immediately sign him? It was Steve Bruce was manager, wasn't it? And we tried to immediately make his loan permanent, and he wasn't up for it to start with. No. Do you remember the whole summer was like, oh, he's not coming. What's going on? And then at the end of the summer, he joined, and I felt there was a bit of a reluctance.
No,
there.
I think he wanted to. If I recall correctly, he did want to come, but Arsenal didn't want to let him go. Do you know? He wasn't starting for Arsenal; he was on the bench, and I felt like he did want to come, but he wasn't allowed. Have we ever tried him on the wing?
Yeah, he used to do. He used to do the overlap with Joe Linton. Do you remember in that most exciting season under Eddie?
Yeah,
the 2 of them would interchange.
We've not really.
I think he comes into the category of. I would ask him, "Do you want to be here?" Because I think he wants to be. I think he wants to be in London.
Well, I think Fulham came in for him at the start of him. At the start of the season, they came in for him. But I think, again, he just thought he'd maybe get a bit more regular football there. I don't think he necessarily wants to be in London. I think he did want to come at this when he did sign, but he just wants to play regularly, and I think that's why he wants to leave.
I feel like the wing idea is not bad, but we have better wingers.
Who?
Do you think
Harvey Barnes?
Gordon Barnes are better?
I think Gordon's on his way out, and I don't think he's been great this season. I think Barnes
this
is.
season. I'm not talking about next season. I just mean in general. Like I wouldn't have played him on the wing because the other wingers we have.
I think I just look at games and I look at sort of Gordon's results, and I mean I suppose he's been playing up top for the most part for a lot of the season. But I think apart from Barnes, I think you can put Willock in there, and I think he offers something a little bit different to Murphy and Gordon.
Right, fair enough. I'm here for it.
Interesting.
Jacob Ramsey, what are we going with him?
You know
My
what?
son, I would do that. He's in the in the Skies, in the Sky
I
Sports.
think towards the end he was a lot better than I when he signed I thought he'd be really good. But again, it's another one that's not pushed down midfield to get into it.
You reckon? Because you and I sat there watching him against Barcelona, and the pair of us were purring over how good he was.
Yeah.
He was brilliant.
Yeah,
That's
but
changed
one
his
game in 10 is not good enough for us. That's my opinion.
What are you giving them, Rob?
I'll give him a 6.5.
6.5. Wow, you have got meaner, Rob. By the way, can I just say?
But I like him as a player. I just wish he would push more to get in there midfield.
You gave Aaron Ramsdale a 6.5.
Yeah,
just saying.
I like
Raul.
I would give him a 7 on the pre-show that he got better towards the end of the season, but he was signed as a squad player. And once he sort of found his feet, he was a decent squad player. He's not. I wouldn't start him in this Champions League midfield you speak of, but I think he is good to come in and do the job for like the last 20, 25 minutes, and that's sort of what his role, I think, was meant to be.
Amber?
I would give him a 7. I think there's times that he's looked really exciting. I know it might not have been like really consistent, but when he's not exciting, like the Fulham game wasn't pleasant to watch at all.
Oh, it was
awful.
awful.
I feel like he was actually putting a shift in.
Right. Yeah, okay.
Like off the ball, on the ball, like actually
Still trying.
Yeah.
Still, I think he's got a level of care which some of our players haven't shown.
Yeah,
I think he wants to do well at Newcastle, and that matters a lot to me. But then that's the fan in me talking rather than the player, if you see what I mean. So, right, I gave him a 7, and so did
Evidently, you're the most
man.
significant player on this podcast.
Jacob Murphy.
Do you know what? I love the fact that he loves the club, and I love the fact that he wants to do so well for the club. And I think, again, he wasn't as good as he was last year, which he amazingly surprised me how good he was last year. And I think we saw, maybe this year we saw his level that he's at.
Yeah.
Again, I would look, if we want to go and push towards Champions League, is he going to start? Definitely not. Is he worth keeping around? If he's happy to stay around, which I'm sure he is because he's a Newcastle fan, then yeah, I think when he comes on, he sometimes makes a difference. Do you know what I mean? But he certainly wasn't as good as he was last year.
What are you giving him?
Again, I'll give him a 6.5.
6.5. Raul.
Yeah, I would echo Rob's sentiments. I think like last season, like he was playing for a different striker. He was playing for Isaacs. He put the ball a little bit in front of them, and Isaac's got that rapid pace that Waldemar doesn't have. But I think as well, he's such a great energy. Like I love him as a human being. I go over so many of the things he's done over the bye-bye, all of the stupid faces and stuff. I think he's such a wonderful energy to have around. He loves the tune. I love his Lady Gaga chant. I would keep him for another season, but I just feel like he doesn't quite match Walter Marty. But I do feel he's a man who runs off chemistry, and him and Asula I think could make a really good pairing, and sort of have shown a few glimpses of that. But unfortunately, over the course of this season, I don't think he's quite been there. So I'd say 6.5 as well.
6.5 as well. Amber, what do you give Jacob Murphy?
I would go with a 6.5 or 7, but I don't know if I'm being a bit biased there because I think he's an absolute class character.
Yeah.
Really good for the club. I know he's like, having been at the club and stuff, just his morale, and I think he's like in the leadership group, and I just think
they love him.
Really good energy, and I feel like sometimes it's refreshing to see a winger deliver the ball how he can. I know it's not like all the time and stuff like that, but like when you think back to when he came on against what was in the Champions League, I was there doing the comms, and Harvey Barnes scored at the back stick, but we weren't doing that great.
Was that against? I think we were there as well when we was against Mourinho's team, wasn't it?
Yeah, but just like stuff like that where he just gets a pinpoint cross on, makes a difference. But yeah, I know what Raul was saying about the chemistry with a forward, but I don't think we've had a set forward, whereas if we had, probably would have a different season. Yeah,
fair enough. So 6.5. You've all gone 6.5. YAI man has given him 8 out of 10, which is interesting. I have been awful and given him 3.
Ooh!
Yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
3.
Yeah.
Well, he's not
That's
coming
your
on the
lowest mark
podcast,
so
let me
far.
tell you
I
that.
don't think when
Giving him a
he's
3.
been on, he hasn't
Chance of
scored.
him coming on this podcast are 0.
I think when he's started, he has really let himself down. I don't think he's been the player we saw last season at all. And at this point in time, I don't get excited when I see his name on the team sheet. When I see that he's starting, I kind of think, oh, he has proven me wrong on a few games this season. He has put in a few 8, 9 out of 10 performances, but he's put in a lot of really tepid, average, horrible football.
3's
So he's the
harsh.
lowest
Yeah.
score you've given
Yeah, it's
any.
low.
He's the lowest I've given so far. We haven't
Oh,
got we haven't got to our
Oh.
forwards. We haven't got to our forwards yet. This is where if I were
Okay.
Wisser, I would be tuning in. Not that he gives us stuff what I think. Why would he? Harvey Barnes. So I'm sorry, Jacob. I know he's a really good lad, by the way, and I've heard all sorts of wonderful things about having him around. I'm talking about what he's done on the field for us this season. For me, it's a 3. Harvey Barnes, Rob. what do
Harvey
you
Barnes,
think?
I love Harvey
You
Barnes.
do?
Yeah, I do because he's always, he maybe is not as as energetic as Gordon, but what he does do is score goals, and he plays well. He always tries.
What's he got? 16
Never lets you
for the
down.
season?
Yeah, which is amazing. I
say.
think because they ain't started every game.
He's started. He's. Do you know he has played in all but one game for
Played
us this
in, but
season.
not started.
Played, not started.
Right,
But he's
okay.
featured. I think he's our most used player.
Yeah, and that doesn't surprise me because I liked him when he was at Leicester. I liked him because he always chips in his goals. He's technically very, very good. So yeah, I would give him a 7.5 out of 10 because I think he's been very good.
7.5. Raul, what do you give?
I
Harvey
would
Barnes?
give him an 8, bordering on an 8.5. He's our 3rd top highest scorer, but it's by margin. It's like Bruno, Walter and him, and it's like 9, 8, 8, I believe. And I think, he's...
Doing in the Prem.
Yeah, in the Prem, sorry, in the
I
Prem
thought, yeah.
specifically. I think the way he
It's not
cuts
great,
in...
is it?
Sorry?
It's not great.
It's not great, but I think
For
it's a
our
good...
team,
not great
not
for...
great.
Terrible reflection of the team, especially when you
So
consider...
no
we've
one
got-
got in double figures. In the
Yeah,
Prem.
and none of them are a striker either. Walter
No.
has been moved to a 10, and he barely started for us at the second half of the season.
Moved to
One's
an
a
8 at
centre
one
mid.
point as well.
Yeah, one's a
Yeah.
left mid. It's not great reflection for the team,
No.
but I think in terms of Harvey, he's come on, he's been put on the bench, he's not... he's still dealt with that. He's come on, given his all. The way he cuts in from the left, I love to see it. He gives everything, and he's just been, I think, underappreciated as well. I don't think we give him his flowers enough, and I think he deserves them all.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So he gets an 8 from you. Amber, what are you giving Harvey
I
Barnes?
would give him a 8 or 8.5. I don't know what one I'm on.
Which one do you want to do?
Let's give him an 8.5.
Okay.
Yeah, because of his, just looking at some of his goals and stuff like that, and moments in games.
This is going to be interesting to compare our scores for him with Anthony Gordon. 8.5, like that. So we're 7.5, 8, 8.5. YAI man gave him a 7.5, and I gave him a 7. Anthony Gordon, run down the wing. What do you think?
So good in the Champions League.
Yep.
So good in the Champions League. Can be an absolute well beater and can be absolutely anonymous. Don't know why he's playing. So it's a tough one really. There's 2 parts of the season for him, isn't it? Like Champions League and Premier League. So I don't think he's been great in the Premier League. I've also he's been played up front, which Eddie seems to like him up front, which I don't. He's certainly not a striker. Scored a lot of goals, but a lot of penalties. So I'd probably, again with all the attitude and is he going to go? Looks like he's going to go, but I'd still give him a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay. 7.5 out of 10, same as what you gave Harvey Barnes.
Yeah.
Raul, what do you give Anthony Gordon?
I'd give him a 5.5, maybe bordering on a 6.
That's emotional, that.
5.5.
It is. I feel like when I think back, I just feel like, again, he, more than anybody for me, has epitomised an individual, playing as an individual in a team sport. You've just pointed out the fact that he switches on for Champions League games, but not the Prem. Granted, he has been played up front, which is not his natural position. But I think for someone who just seems to be that keen on leaving and so keen on his individual record more than the team, and for someone who's been shown a lot by Eddie Howe, there's something in me that just goes, actually, yeah, wait a minute. I think this guy saw that he's won the Carabao Cup. He's part of history and he wants to move on to pastures new now. And that just rankles me a little bit the wrong way. And even with the pens in the chat, a lot of them are pens and the sort of, I think, was there little bit of it. Am I making this up? Was there a tiff between him and Walter Mata earlier in the season about the pen?
I think was it the Carabao game?
And Trippier wanted him to let Baltimore take it.
Yeah. He'd already scored a bunch.
Individual. It's selfish. It represents someone who wants a record.
Alan Shearer would do that all day long. So
but he's not a striker, is he?
I've got no issue.
Mata's a
I've got no issue
striker.
with
If
him
he's
wanting
been
to
asked to
take
play as
pen.
a striker, though, sometimes you have to take that mentality on.
I've
Like,
got
to
no
be
issue.
elite, you are in a team, especially as a striker, you are going to have someone.
Well,
If he's the penalty taker, then take the penalty.
In a fan's viewpoint, selfish. But like, if you have a number 9 that's not selfish, and I know you're saying he wasn't number 9, but he was doing that role. Like, what's the point?
Yeah, but again, I agree.
Might as well play
it's not his fault that Baltimore's not doing well. Let's give him a penalty to get a goal. That Alan wouldn't do that.
Well, all right.
Top people wouldn't do that.
Fine, but that's
world-class players wouldn't do that.
All right, let's remove the pen thing still, I think. I don't think he's a great striker. I think he's scored a lot of
he's
pens.
not a great striker.
Right? I think on a wing, he's not been amazing this season. He's had one good season for us. He could go and try win the league with Bayern Munich, but I think, I think he just
justified it.
Doesn't want to be here.
No, you've spoken some sense and you've spoken your truth. I'm happy with that. Anthony Gordon for you, Amber Keegan Stobbs.
I'll give him an 8.
You give him an 8.
Yeah, because I do feel like as a fan and watching the games, a lot of our Champions League things, I know they're not in Premier League, but like a lot of those, just seeing the player do that as a fan and keeping us in Champions League for longer. Like, how do you take that score off him just because he
Fair enough.
might want to leave? Do you know what I mean in that sense? Like
Understood.
The happy memories, the good times in Champions League, a lot this season are down to
him.
His contract.
Yeah, that's fair. YAI man agrees with you. Gave him 7.5 out of 10. I gave him a 6. Ilanga. This one I'm going to find quite interesting. I'm going to be straightforward with you. I've given Ilanga a 1. Ooh.
Oh,
1.
I've given him 1 out of 10.
2 goals against Barcelona.
Yeah, got 2 goals against
decent.
Barcelona, and didn't that make a massive difference?
You've got to give him at least 2 for each
No,
goal.
Why?
I gave him 1 because he scored 2. that was my reasoning.
I've been so disappointed in him, because he had a great season at Forest. I when we signed him, I thought 55 million is a lot of money for him. I think sometimes I've looked at him and I think you look frightened to play at St James's Park. For someone with your pace and his ability, he would be my lowest marked player because I'm so disappointed in him, and I would give him a 5.
Okay, he's not my lowest marked player. Okay.
Wow, someone's getting a 0, yeah?
Somebody who doesn't deserve to exist.
Raul.
It's a 4.5 from me to a 5. Bless him. I think it just seems like he can't kick a ball. Very occasionally can, but he's just very fast, and I don't know what we brought him in for, really. Got a couple of goals against Barcelona, but it just seems like he's not a natural. Maybe that'll change next season. Maybe he'll go. I don't know, but it just seems like it just hasn't worked at all this season.
4.5. Amber.
I give him a 5.
You give him a 5.
Probably being kind there, but I just feel like we probably all had the hopes of seeing him play how he did at Forest.
Yeah.
Hasn't met that, but I just feel like in football there's so many things that go to it. Like, is it the system? Is it the role that he's been given? Not saying that.
Maybe he's had a baby. I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? It's just,
Well, you're all wrong because YAI man gave him a 7 out of 10.
What?
Yeah, added pace and transition threat, adaptation season overall. That's what he said. That's what he said. Right, Big Nick Voltemada.
See, technically, I ability-wise, I think he's got great ability. I don't know why we signed him, if I'm being brutally honest, as a centre forward. We don't play a 10, so I don't know why. So I feel sorry for him. The fact that he's had to play. He started so well, but it's not the way that we play. We have pace, we have power, and he's got neither of those. But technically, I quite like him, but it's the amount of money we paid for him. I think is hindering him massively. That's why I would say he's a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Raul.
He's got a 7 from me. Started very well. The goals were just sexy, weren't they? Do you know what I mean? The back heel, the pair. He scored some belters, and then
was good.
the header was. It was a very good header.
For Sunderland, that was a great header.
It was a very look. whenever he scored them and whoever he scored them for, they were technically very good, as you said, Rob.
Great header.
Exactly, just in the wrong net. Nonetheless, I like his attitude. I like his energy. It just seems like he wasn't the right striker for the right team. He was our third or fourth choice. It was a bit of to some degree, a panic buy. But I think if we adapt the team for him, he could come very good next year. And I love anyone who's got a song about them after the Wenger boys. So yeah, big fan of Walter Mardy, all things considered.
Yeah, he's a standout talent. He's a really exciting player, but have we seen it enough? I'm not sure. Amber, what do you give him?
I
know you're a fan. Give him an 8. Good.
I know that's going to shock you.
Wow, that has shocked me.
Honestly, though, but all season I've said, like, might have been playing different position and stuff like that, but it's just, I think, watching him, like, technically, if it's a little layoff that no one expects, anything like that, I think his passing range and things like that. He doesn't just pass a ball; he passes a ball with intent.
Yeah.
Right. So if it's a switch out wide, it's intent and stuff like that. And I just think, yeah, I've just always been a fan of him all season. And his goals in the beginning, like we're saying that he's up there with the top scorers who've been playing out of position, got loads of 6 front. It just gives me that pure like. If he's here next year, it'll be.
He's fascinating. He's
So
a
if
different
he's here
character.
next year, he will lead our line.
Depends who we've got in, but out of what we've got now, yeah. Out of what we've got now, Rob.
We ain't getting Champions League if he.
No, but I'm saying out of what we've got now.
Yeah, we'll sign players, but I can't believe that he will lead our line.
Well, you'll have to wait and see, Rob. You don't have to wait too long. YAI Man rates him, gave him 8.5 out of 10. Technical quality stood out throughout the whole season. I've given him a 5 out of 10. I think he's a work in progress. I think those 7 goals in 14 games that we saw at the start were really exciting. As Raul said, he scored some absolute buttes. The penalty against Pickford was a thing of just glory. I must have watched it 1,000 times. I absolutely loved it.
Against Pickford?
It's a penalty.
Oh, yeah, yes.
Yeah, it was glorious. It was
a penalty.
Yeah, but Rob, it was a special thing. I think some of his movement has been exciting, but if he's going to stay, he's got to start shooting more. His shooting stats are incredible because he hardly ever shoots. We need to see him getting shots off left, right and centre. If you don't shoot, you ain't going to score. Johan Wissa.
Oh, my. Yeah. So disappointed. I thought it was a strange buy for us. 55 million. I know he's been injured a lot, which doesn't help him, but even when he's come on recently and played recently, I think he's been poor. So it'd be 4 out of 10 for me.
4 out of 10. That is your lowest score, Rob.
Yep.
Raul.
Yeah, another 4.5 from me. It was fun that time he scored and he waved the corner flag a bit though. That was good fun. But other than that, I can't remember
Extra
a single.
point for that, was it?
Yeah, just a fun celebration. And he wanted to be here as well. Do you know what I mean? He came with a bit of effort. But other than that, I just don't really know. I can't think of anything that he's contributed really. But I do think there's maybe a player there. I'm just not sure if we're getting the best out of him. He's in the right places. He keeps hitting them over.
He scored goals for Brentford, didn't he?
20 without a single penalty.
Yeah, 19
and I think like
but
if he can get them on
Newcastle
target,
too big for him? Is it's one of those? Is it?
Well, the season suggests so far. Amber.
I'd give him a 4. I feel awful for saying that. 4.5.
YAI Man gave him 6.5. So don't worry. That
Why
boosts the score
did
a
he
bit.
do that?
It's just horrible, like just horrible at, like as a footballer rating someone else like that. But I think that sometimes it's looked like a lack of effort, and whether that is injury or something else when he's come on. But yeah, I don't know.
Fair enough. I gave him a 1, but I would have given him less if I could have done. I think he's been absolutely abject on the pitch. He hasn't looked like he's known what he's doing. Never mind the Fulham game where he just seemed to be running around in circles. Goodness knows what that was about.
10, didn't he?
Who knows? Nobody knows where he was
midfielder
playing.
for the last bit, and I'm not joking. There was about 4 different bits of play that I was like, "Who is this guy?" Because he looked different. I'm suggesting that he plays in our midfield, but he looked more confident. And I mean, that game was done.
Yeah.
There was like a few times where he actually checked in. His movement was more energetic than it had been as a 9. Even if it is for like 4 10-second slots. I was just like, this guy, I don't know if he was just like thinking, this is the end of the season, I'm going to play differently now. But honestly, there was sometimes where he switched the ball and previously that would have come off his shin.
I was baffled. There is clearly a player in there. You don't represent DR Congo. You don't score 19 goals in your previous season and not be any good. But he hasn't been any good for us. He's been a massive flop, and it's heartbreaking to see. Same with Elanga. I think the pair of them have tried and failed every single time.
That's 110 million pounds.
It's £110 million. And I think it's a huge shame for them. They're probably lovely blokes. You know, I'm not saying they're not trying.
I think that's why Eddie's under a massive bit of pressure.
Yeah, because they've let him down. And it's a huge shame. But for me, watching Wissa swap shirts with Mateta at Crystal Palace really, it drove a dagger into me. I was horrified.
In his defence, didn't like Mateta run up to him, and aren't they like childhood friends or something?
Save it for the dressing room.
Yeah, exactly.
Save it for when the camera is not on you. You were saying in his defence, you do know when there's a cameraman there.
Well, there's cameras everywhere.
Right in his face.
There's cameras everywhere.
He did it very publicly, made a big thing. He'd come on for the last 30 seconds as well.
Now you've got to say, we're doing the change rooms. Yeah.
Don't do it now. Really wound me up, that did.
It's ridiculous now what they do.
I think it was worse when was it him who liked like a Sunderland player's post after they beat us? That's way worse. That's far worse.
Sunderland player got man of the match and he liked it.
Yeah, that's awful.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, so he's my player of the season. And finally, and then we can move on to our awards, who we think we should bring in and say adieu for the season. Man of the moment, Michael Jackson. What would you be giving Michael Jackson for his final season form, Rob?
Do you know what? He looks like he's got everything to be a top striker, Asula. He's quick, he's strong. I question whether he could score goals, but towards the last...
Scored 7.
7 goals. Yeah, 7 goals in the last game. So he's proved he can do that. Again, I would question, if we're going to Champions League, would he be our main striker?
It's all right if you don't rate him, Rob. You're allowed to.
No, I do rate him. That's the thing. I do rate him. And I think he's done brilliantly well. And I think he's took his chance.
Give him a score. Give him a score.
I will give him 7.5 out.
7.5.
Yeah.
Raul.
7.5 as well. He was raw. He's becoming more precise. People forget he's only 22. He's only a couple of years older than Miley. With a bit of development, I think maybe he's not next year, but a few years down the line, he could lead that line.
How long do we have to wait, though? I mean, Wayne Rooney was ready when he was 17.
Yeah, but you're talking about Wayne Rooney.
Oh, I know.
He's different to everybody
22, else. I think you're supposed to be established in the Premier League by 22, aren't you?
Depends on the player, depends on the person, depends on the life story, isn't it?
Yeah, well, depends how good you are.
Touché. Well, it depends how good you are.
I can't believe you're comparing to
Ian Wright was ready at about, 27, 28 or something like that?
Yeah,
went through the non-leagues Palace and then became one of Arsenal's greatest stars?
Yeah, let's not compare Wayne Rooney to...
I was talking about ages.
Ridiculously
ages.
Good.
Last I checked, Asula had not betted anyone's grandma. So...
Keep that in.
There's going to be so many edits at the end of this.
This edit is going to be really challenging.
Anyway? I mean, just why are you checking that?
I've got a lot of spare time.
Let's check that.
Amber, what do you give William Osula as our final player?
An 8.
An 8?
I think based on the way that he's finished the season, when he has, he didn't get the same sort of opportunity in the beginning of the season, things like that.
He was injured as well.
And you know what? That Man United goal.
Great.
Yeah.
I know it's just one. Well, not just one goal because he's done well for us, but he's been
goal of the
has
season.
Been probably patient all season.
Brilliant. YAI man thought he was a 6 out of 10. I gave him a 6.5. So there we go. That's our players' verdicts. I think we don't need to go back over it, do we?
No,
We've already established. You can see who we rate, who we don't rate. Player of the season for YAI man I mentioned was Sandro Tonali. For me, it's Lewis Hall. Rob, your player of the season?
Lewis Hall.
Raul.
Got to be Lewis Hall, hasn't it?
And Amber.
I would have gone Bruno.
Bruno, you're allowed to go Bruno. Love
There's a difference when he's not in.
Young player of the season. No. I've said Miley. YAI man has said Miley. Anyone disagree with that?
Yakuba Minter.
Oh, steady.
You can't disagree with me.
Lewis Hall's not my player, then he'd probably be my young player.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Bruno. Yeah. Okay. Most improved. YAI man has had Tino Livramento. Strongly disagree with that. I said Osula is the most improved.
Osula, without doubt.
Yeah,
Osula.
I don't like the most improved. I feel like it's a bit of an insult. But Osula, I feel like that's based on opportunity.
Yeah, just he's
like
in there.
It's not like he came on and he was awful. Then he's done really well. It's just more opportunity. He's done well.
Cult Hero Award. YAI man has given it to Jacob Murphy, but has not explained why. I've given it to Big Dan Burn because I think that's precisely what he is.
Dan Burn is a cult hero.
Yeah.
He's massively a cult hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, he couldn't dispute that.
Yeah, Burn, or if not, maybe Asula again, just because he annoyed Rob with his little dad. A lot of people didn't
forget. Yeah. I love it. Unsung hero. Dan Burn was what YAI man gave it. I'm giving it to Jacob Ramsey because I think he's doing a lot that people aren't seeing. You guys aren't seeing it, so maybe I'm right. Maybe
is he coming on the pod next week? Is that what's happening?
I think he's looked good. I
liked him actually.
Yeah, you did. Who's your unsung hero, Amber?
I think Malik Chow.
Malik Chow, Fair. We're coming on to signing of the season.
I would say Barnes.
Yeah, Harvey Barnes for me.
Barnes, yeah,
Harvey Barnes
good shout.
Don't get the credit he deserves.
Good shout. Signing of the season, Malik Chow for me and AI.
No, it's a no-brainer, Mate Chow. We've
I
had some
said
poor
that.
signings.
That'll do. I'm not going to bother with this
Chow.
most frustrating. Can't be bothered. That'll do. That'll do. Let's talk about some fun tune things then. Who would we bring in, guys? I've got loads of notes. Rob, who would you be looking to sign if you had?
I did actually do a little bit of homework on this, which is unusual for me.
Homework.
But I thought we can get these, and actually these players I think we can actually get.
Yeah, go on.
Jared Bowen.
Ooh,
Yeah, you
good.
talked about him last week.
I've talked about him a lot.
Like that.
Yeah, I'd like to get him in. If Gordon goes and a few of the other players go, I think he's always going to score goals for you. I also said if we lose Tonali, McTominay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great player.
I would try to sign him because I think he gets forward. He's done brilliant in Italy. Needed to get away from Man United.
He's a hero then, now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's done fantastic.
We know Eddie likes him as well.
Another one might be a bit. I think Liam Delap been terrible at Chelsea, but I think we could snatch him for 20 million.
He also scored 12 goals last season in a very poor team, didn't he?
Yeah,
So,
no, I think Chelsea fans are ridiculed him. He'd definitely go. I think we'd snap him up, and I think it'd suit the way we play.
well, we did. We put in a bid to sign him because he was available on a free, wasn't he? And we tried to get him ahead of Chelsea, and I think
he made the
didn't
wrong
think-
decision. I think he made the wrong decision.
I think he didn't think he would get in ahead of Isak. Little did he know. Anyway, okay, yeah, those are good three. Any more?
Yeah. There was a couple. What else was I? Again, I'm trying to think of who else I wrote
Your
down in
notes.
my little.
I'll
My
tell you
little
who
thing.
I've got while you look.
Go on.
I think we should do everything we can to get Harry Wilson from Fulham, free agent.
I
He's
thought
available.
that when he came on as a sub on
Yeah.
the weekend. I was like, look at it's the subs they made when they brought 3 on and the subs that we made. I was like, Fulham are making subs that I'm a little bit like, oh God, please don't bring them on.
Yeah.
Whereas as Newcastle, like the bigger club and everything like that, no disrespect, but I was like, look at their subs compared to ours.
Yeah.
I was like, he's on the bench for them.
He's a free agent.
Yeah.
Villa are sniffing around him. I would be sending everything I could to try and get him. I think he's really class. Third most assists in the league as well. Says it all.
Yeah, one over was Trafford.
Trafford, yeah.
I think he was almost come to us last season.
He
would've
wanted
come to us.
the move. The question is whether we can afford him now. I have got an alternative to Trafford, which is the Brighton keeper, Verbruggen. I think he's looked really interesting. Bart Verbruggen. He's 23, cost about 30, 40 million, 99 saves, 10 clean sheets, conceded 43 goals
He's
across
chucking
35 games.
stats at me now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He starts for Holland. Could be our keeper for the next decade.
Wharton I
think he's
like
good.
as well at Palace.
Adam Wharton's brilliant.
Adam Wharton.
Yeah.
They're the
Good
5 that
player.
I would, and I think you could get them. They're not as like they're at the Messi's or bloody Ronaldo, but I think you better get them sort of players.
I think that.
I would say Wharton and Wilson, but I would say I wouldn't be looking at the Prem again after this season. We'd be spending a lot of money again. Would probably be getting players. I mean, Liam Delap, what did he have one good season, or do you know what I mean? And going back down the route of someone who kind of rejected us, like Ekatike, could just open up a whole other can of worms. I'd like to see a bunch of people I've never heard of from the French and Belgium second and third leagues, and I think we could match that with the experience we already have, and I think that would be a Champions League
I
side.
think a bunch though, like fair 1 or 2, but a bunch just takes too long to adapt. Like
You've got to get them right. I mean, you've got to get them right. You have to get them right. Well, people who haven't played I always worry about people who haven't played in the Premier League.
Bowen, Wilson.
I mean, Ramsey took a while to adapt. Alanga seems like she's never played in the Premier League before. Whistler doesn't either. I mean, off that evidence alone and just kind of looking at the other team in the Northeast, I'm afraid,
They done
if an
brilliant.
even balance, I think you can get.
Their
And we've got
signings were
a
brilliant.
lot of good
Xhaka-
Premier League proven players already to match and bet
Granit-
these people in.
Granit Xhaka is probably the signing of the season.
Oh, about that.
13 million quid, and look what he's done for them. It's been
Brilliant,
unbelievable.
brilliant signing, yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable. A couple more for you that we could sign. I'd be really interested in Diamande if we could get him, if Liverpool don't get him, from RB Leipzig. Ivory Coast International, 12 goals, 7 assists in 33 games, but he'd be really expensive, and I imagine he's in high demand. David Fratesi, Inter Milan midfielder, doesn't seem to get used very much for them. Barely plays, to be honest, but he's wasted on the bench. He's technical. He's box to box. I think under Eddie he could be absolutely superb. I think we've looked at him before. We tried to loan him, and they didn't like the agreement that we'd offered. But I wouldn't be surprised if we went back in for him. And then if I was looking at one other striker that I think we could get, it's the lad that I think has been pulling up trees at Bournemouth, Ellie Junior Krupi. I think he looks really good. I'd be really excited to see him play for us if we could get him.
Yeah, I think you're talking about a lot of money.
Yeah, you're talking about teams
I'm
that
talking
also
about a lot of
finished
money,
above
but
us.
I appreciate that.
Why
Would you want to leave Bournemouth for Newcastle right
we're
now?
Newcastle United, and we should be really proud of that. I get why he wouldn't come to us, but also we've got to be ambitious. And if we're going to be making all this money from sales like Gordon, like Tonali and so on, we'll have cash to spend. And we need to spend some money. We need to get a serious overhaul.
Well, as you said, we need to get the players that don't want to be here, get as much money as we can for them, and then get players that do want to be here.
We need to do it quickly. I would say that is the most important thing that happens is we get the ones that want gone fast and get them replaced as quickly as we can. None of this dragging out until the season starts.
Eddie now should have done these meetings, should actually be sitting with these people now and saying, and he should know now if they don't want to be here, or he wants to get rid of them. Either way, that we have to now then get the agents, get the director of football to work on getting rid of them.
100%.
Then get the players in.
Get it sorted.
Yeah.
You've been with Adopted Geordies. Thank you so much for your company this season. It's been an absolute pleasure sharing the highs and lots of lows with you. It's been a joy for me to spend time with these three fantastic human beings that have shown up week in, week out, whether they've been in Australia
I have mostly. Yeah. No disrespect.
Wherever they've been.
And he's had 3 babies, all right?
3 babies, I still turn up, honestly.
All
I've
right.
had 3 children, I still turn up every week and give a great performance.
Oh, I've had 2 children as well.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. You won't let me do a nice goodbye. I appreciate it. But I tell you what I do appreciate, though, is we have been asking since the beginning of our return for more involvement from you guys, getting involved in comments on YouTube, on Instagram, on Spotify and so on, giving us the stars, etc., etc. And that has been returned to us tenfold. The number of people that have now been involved, sharing stories, jumping in the DMs with feedback. I've been getting stopped in the streets in London and various other places. Thank you to all of you that have taken the time to send us, whether you've agreed or disagreed with the comment that Rob's made or any of us, whether you've shared your perspective, given us your input, or just given us some nice, kind feedback. It has been greatly appreciated. We sincerely hope we can come back next season. This is episode 39. I really want to be talking to you in episode 40, and hopefully we'll be talking about a new look, super dynamic, very exciting squad. Maybe we'll come back with a special talking about all the new signings we've made. I sincerely hope we return. I hope we'll all be sat together in the very near future. In the meantime, enjoy the World Cup. Away the lads.